It was a real job of finding the chemistry for this film, the equilibrium of it, so that it was going to feel like a page-turner in the way that the book was.
We are in the middle of a war, and one that has been going on forever.
It's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be a kind of a breathless chase, all those things.
Roger and I must discuss a change in flight plan. He's going to want more money.
Then there was this question of all the different worlds that we were visiting. Every time they'd hop in a car and go somewhere, in my mind, it was a voyage. And there was this sort of classic structure that we were working with, and Salvatore was right in the middle of all that.
He's got a phenomenal eye, and he just loves the challenge of kind of rolling up his sleeves and jumping into it, and it's a sort of ultimate hands-on DP. He's just tireless, almost as inexhaustible as Ron.
Just give him a good spot, because you had something going there that was cool.
He's much my junior when it comes to energy. It's very hard to keep up with him. Very, very energetic, very, very focused, which is great. He really loves what he does.
Because if you could nail that, when Jean-Yves comes in, if you could nail that with him shooting over his left shoulder, action!
Comes to work early, he comes to work prepared. We ride to work together so that we can prepare the day. We ride home together so we can discuss the day and then prepare the next day a little bit, which is great. Whether you go home and do some homework or whether you go home and watch a film, it sort of sits there in your mind, and the next morning you come in and you start talking about it, you go, hey, you know what, I got this idea. Ron, what do you think about, oh yeah, that's great. Well, I was thinking about that. Oh, okay, well maybe if you're gonna do that, maybe we could do it with a crane and we could come over. And you start building this great, great foundation every day. And it's just a lot of fun.
They didn't notice anything?
Well, people rarely notice things right in front of their eyes, don't you find?
And I was kind of like...
You want it? Should we do that? Should we do you tuck in?
No.
No, you don't think so?
Aveo, rektor.
Domicilium operis Dei, elegiac permutationem.
King of the second take. We would come onto the set in the morning, and Ron would explain roughly what he was hoping to achieve. You know, he explained the shot that he'd planned. He explained how the scene was going to work, how the shots were going to work. He would tell us exactly what we needed to know in terms of what was technically required and so on. And then he would clear the set, and it would just be him and the actors, and usually Akiva, and we would just work on the scene.
If we are discovered by the Vatican, we are excommunicated, so should anything go...
One of the amazing things about working with Ron and on this process is he understands and values the utility of writers while making a movie, which is very rare in Hollywood.
Cut, great. Good. One more.
So often what happens is the movie's written, and then there's nobody there to continue to help the words and structure evolve while the movie's being made. And that's different from everything else, because although costumes or sets are all designed before the movie, the head of each department remains as part of the movie, so adjustments can be made. And so rarely in Hollywood is that true of words, but words are such an important component of making movies. So that's one of the amazing things about working with Ron.
It's really, your shot works best, Candide, for the very first part of it. So
He would say, do you like that? Does that work for you? Are you happy with that? Would you like to change it? You know, is there anything else you'd like to do? So it's very collaborative.
Old friend, heaven protect you.
Well, I'm a director who loves working with great actors, and one of the things I try to pride myself on is creating an environment where they can really excel.
Ron, deep down, wants to hire actors who are sort of aggressive in pursuing their instincts of what the scene is, and then he listens to that.
Because, you know, the actors know their important scenes. There are a lot of different ways to go. There's no one clear path. Always a question about how intense to go, how to modulate, how to create some surprises for the audience so things aren't performed in just the expected way.
But when you're actually on set, he's very definite about what he wants from each take.
Give me the keys! Will you stop that?
He's very precise, and he won't let go until he's got it, you know, which makes you feel really secure as an actor, because you just trust that when he's moving on to another shot, it's because he's got what he wanted.
In fact, those scenes kept getting rehearsed and rewritten really up to and including the period of time in which we were shooting them. All the actors kept contributing.
We email each other furiously with sort of, ideas about scenes, and he'll ring me up late at night, and just today came in with this change for a scene we're yet to shoot, and he had this sort of revelation about it, and he was like a kid. He was so excited.
Oh, for God's sake, man!
Akiva and I would hear their ideas, go off in a corner, huddle. Akiva would scratch out a new pass at the scene, take it back out there, rehearse it again, all while the cameras were setting up. It was really kind of nail-biting in a way, but so important that we just had to get every detail right and pull every bit of drama out of those scenes.
Throw T-Bing in the trunk.
From the day he approached me to the day we said goodbye, he stuck to his word and his forecast as to how the work would proceed. That's extremely unusual. He's very, very well organized.
Sorry.
When you come to these big climactic scenes, those confrontations are the kind of thing that really get my adrenaline going.
I know the location of 2 murderers wanted by French police.
One of the reasons why it's been the phenomenon that it is because it defies the standard form of what a thriller would be. I mean, for good or for bad, for the last 20 years, thrillers all have helicopters and machine guns, and there's none of that in this movie. I guess there is a gun, and it does go off at some point.
I'll do what I have to now.
I think it's accessible to the real world, as you don't have to be a super spy nor a jewel thief. You just have to be, in this case, I'm just a teacher pursuing something that is mysterious as mysterious can be.
Open it, Sophie, to save his life.
It's as though anybody could land in that same kind of circumstance.
Lee, you can't
Open the cryptex.
I don't know how.
Open it.
I don't know how.
Open it or he dies.
I swear, I don't know.
I don't think the character changes. You just see him for what he is eventually. He's very good at disguising it. But, people who are driven can be charming when necessary to get their own way, and he's a man who's busy getting his own way. But then, equally, he really cares about this. I mean, he's not in this for the money. He's not in this to rule the world. But he does take things to excess. So he's a passionate man.
So this is it. The gift at the end.
I thought the possibility of taking the Da Vinci Code and making it into a movie was a really great creative opportunity because it is thought-provoking. It's challenging in some ways. For some people, it's very controversial. At the very least, it's stimulating, right?
You are the last living descendant of Jesus Christ.
Yet, it's really entertaining. It's really rare when you can come up with something that's entertaining that also really will stimulate conversation.
The only thing that matters is what you believe.
It's a murder mystery, it's a conspiracy theory story, but it's also a knight's journey. Langdon turns out to be, a protector. He delivers somebody who becomes very important to him to safety.
It is intelligent, there are thrills, there is a chase. So it's an intelligent thrill chase film with not much romance, but a little bit to it.
I think that through the stories, they're just starting to really trust each other, to understand that, in fact, they have a common point together, that it was not a chance to form that couple, effective couple.
Godspeed.
The fact that people are talking about these topics is such a positive. And that's really my hope for this movie, that people go to it and afterward are standing out in the parking lot saying, yeah, but what about this? And what about that?
Bloodline. Roseline.
And they end up having these discussions. And there will be people who are challenged by this movie. There'll be people who love the movie. How wonderful if they get together and have it out in intellectual discussions. I think it's terrific.
The Holy Grail, meet ancient Rosalind, waits.
The story itself was a challenge, and also, look, it was also challenging knowing how popular the novel is. And that's exciting on the one hand, because you know you're working with a story that people find really engrossing and involving. And yet, by the same token, you know expectations are going to be high, and people are going to be watching the movie with an extra critical eye and an extra measure of judgment, you know? But it's okay, because it was really worth it. My favorite part of the filmmaking process remains shooting. The excitement of it, it can be frustrating, but I also just find it endlessly fascinating, and it's rewarding to see things gel, to see things come together. I have some favorite scenes in this movie. I would never reveal what they are. I also have favorite sequences, but I never reveal my favorite sequences or scenes because I want people to find their own. Action time! And in a way, it doesn't matter what I like the best. It's not really mine anymore once it's on screen. It's really the audience.
Why does it have to be human or divine? Maybe human is divine.